Hello, students. Welcome to the final analysis of the day. We have now seen all the three slots of the CAT exam 2024. Now it's time to pull everything together and look at the exam as a whole. So, we have been breaking down each slot as it comes, and now we are going to complete all the three slots and share the key trends so that you can analyze your good attempts and percentile. We'll talk about overall difficulty of the exam, what worked well, and what you can take from the CAT 2024 exam experience. So, we are excited to share two tools that will make your MBA journey easier: the percentile predictor and the college predictor. The percentile predictor will give you an idea of CAT 2024 expected percentile and helping you understand your performance better. The college predictor will use that percentile to suggest best MBA schools where you have a good chance, making it easier to plan your next steps. And students, as a reminder, we have got a special ebook for you today, created by experts to help you prepare for your GDPI rounds. You can download the ebook by the description. The link is there. The preparation guide covers expert tips and strategies to excel in the group discussion and personal interview of the MBA admission process. So, now let's dive into the final breakdown of the CAT 2024. And I'll also hand it over to Mr. Arks Srinivas for the last time today to wrap up things with his expert analysis. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Komal. And once again, welcome to Careers 360. I think we have for CAT 2024 done a lot of videos before that to run up to the CAT exam. A lot of free mocks that we have given to you, and I hope you have used them correctly. And let's come to the last slot 3 session that has happened just now at 6:30. If I look at, before I go into slot 3 broadly, if I look at CAT 2024 as compared to CAT 2023, I think the paper was decidedly easier overall when you look at it. There are two reasons why. Now, when I'm using the word easier, it at least appears easier for students. There are 2-3 reasons that one needs to understand to get a little more of insight into CAT 24. First and foremost, the number of questions from 66 has gone up to 68. Now, when any time a number of questions increase and the slot, please understand that the number of the time available has been the same, 2 hours. Yet, you can broadly expect that the overall cutoffs will go up even if the same level of difficulty exists. This is because students have a better chance of choosing 1 odd extra question, 2 odd extra questions as compared to when you have less questions to choose from. Now, the fact that it has only happened in DILR can kind of dampen that a little, but the reality is that data interpretation and logical reasoning section, the section 2 of CAT 2024 and for the CAT for the last so many years, has been decidedly easier than CAT 23 for sure. Now, add to that, there are 2 more questions, and not just 2 more questions. Remember that there were 5 sets to choose from as against 4 sets as for in CAT 2023 or CAT 2022. Clearly points out to the idea that the cutoffs will go up a little, the overall marks will go up a little. This is the, if we need to make a top-down approach to understanding how CAT works or any exam works. That's point number 1. Now, there is one red herring here. There's a problem here also. When I talk about data interpretation, there are 5 sets, more questions. Maybe the questions are only 2. Please understand that the questions may be 2. But what is 85 percentile, which is the cutoff for, let's say, IIM Lucknow? 85 percentile is 15% of the people among 3 lakh people writing the exam. That is 45,000 people getting that mark and above. And hence, When you have two more questions and 45,000 among 3 lakh people can do at least one question extra or two questions extra easily if the paper is also easy. There were, without any doubt, sets, whether it was slot 2 or slot 1 or even slot 3 now, that there was direct data interpretation set, pure numbers, percentages to solve, which is very easy. And typically, people can get about 12 to 15 marks in such kind of a set. That is what makes this particular paper easy. Now, verbal also, interestingly, like I said in slot 1 and continued in slot 2, and to continue with that slot 3, the reading comprehension passages were not difficult to read. Now, remember this. They were not difficult to read. That doesn't mean the questions were easy or the choices were easy. No, we'll come down to that. But when you read something and broad basic comprehension becomes easier, people tend to attempt more. When they attempt more, automatically there will be mistakes. Don't worry about it. But when a large scale, when you're talking about cutoffs, when you talk about 90 percentile or 95 percentile, that's still 15,000 students. 15,000 students at 95 percentile, we are talking about 90 percentile, 30,000 students. Clearly, the overall scores go up. And that's exactly what is reflected from all the inputs that I'm getting from the students also and from various kinds of analysis that I'm doing also. Of course, the more data that you give us through our percentile predictor, your expected scores, if you can give it to us, we will be able to come out with a far more accurate prediction of your percentile. And hence, the percentile predictor will take us to your college predictor, which again Careers 360 is able to give you. The percentile predictor, for example, the input your exam details, once you give it to us, we understand the bias that comes in. But when large number of you give this, there is no that sample bias goes away, and we will be able to connect to our scores or our expertise or expert scores that we look at from the analysis of the CAT papers. That's point number one. Now let's go back to slot 3 as such. Now slot 3 was very similar to what slot 1 and slot 2 were in terms of the pattern. No change in the pattern, and there is no expectation of change in the pattern also. Nobody expects a change in the pattern in all the 3 slots in terms of especially for a CAT kind of an exam. The verbal definitely was doable, especially the reading comprehension passages. The para summary were not difficult, which is very similar to slot 3 and slot 2 and slot 1. The theta questions, which were your odd sentences or odd parajumbles, again can be tricky, but because it's theta, no negative marks there. Oh, one thing before I kind of continue, one more very red herring I said, I'm sorry, I digressed from that, and it's very important to understand, is that in data interpretation, while the number of questions also increased by two questions, 20 to 22, it's important. One important insight I would like to give you is that there were 10 theta questions. What happens when you have more theta questions is students tend to attempt more, because theta mein kya hai, negative marks nahi hai. I'm sorry for the for using Hindi. For those of you who are from Chennai and Trivandrum, you might see what is it. What I'm trying to say here is there is also a possibility, because A, the number of questions have increased, B, number of sets have increased, and C, more theta questions have increased. The number of people attempting in DILR set has seen a serious significant increase as compared to CAT 23. Please understand, as compared to 23, we are always looking at. When we look at it, and like I said about verbal, if it is easy, if the RCs are easy to read, people attempt more. Same thing with DI and quant. There has not been too much of change, and compared to last year's arithmetic questions, and arithmetic slot 3 was a nightmare. Slot 3 this year was easy in terms of getting very quick answers, and some questions were very straightforward kind of things. And that takes me to my analysis that probably this particular CAT paper overall also and slot 3 also was easier than CAT 2023. And when you look at CAT 2023, slot 3 specifically, let me share with you my analysis of what I think it is going to be. I expect that slot 3 will have a higher overall cutoff than slot 1 and slot 2. On analysis, again, feedback from various sources kind of make me believe that slot 3 was the easier lot as compared to slot 1 or slot 2. And hence, I peg the 99 percentile at about 92, 93 marks as compared to 87 in slot 2 or 90 marks in slot 1. I look at anybody getting 65 marks, 63 to 65 marks in the slot 3 to be able to get comfortably a new IIM call. If you are in the open category, I mean general category, I'm not even talking about the EWS, OBC, SC, ST, other PWD categories. So if you are an open category student or a general candidate, around 63 to 65 marks, maybe slightly less. On second analysis, we will always feel that people make more mistakes and therefore it can only come down. 62 to 63 marks or 60 plus marks will get you definitely more than 93 percentile, 92, 93, 94 percentile, which is enough to get you an interview call from the IIMs. Now, it's also important to understand that a lot of these cutoffs, individual cutoffs, which we have not really focused on in the slot 1 and slot 2 analysis, but I would like to spend a little time on this, is that it is not only the overall score that matters to the IIMs. You need to cross individual cutoffs as far as getting a call, getting an interview call is concerned. Therefore, depending on institute to institute, it is between 75 percentile to 85 percentile. Somewhere around 20 marks in verbal RC can get you a comfortable cutoff in most institutes. 22 plus, I think you are safe. Maybe for IIM Lucknow, you will need about 23, 24. That's 24 marks is only 8 net questions correct. Remember this. That means if you're able to attempt about 15, 16 questions and get about 12 of them right or even 11 of them right, I think you are going to cross the cutoff required for IIM Lucknow and therefore for every other IIM too. Similarly, when I look at DI and LR, if you do one set correct with 4 questions, remember there were 3 sets of 4 questions each and 2 sets of 5 questions each. If you do one set correct of 4 questions, there is a good chance that you will cross the cutoff. But if you do a 5 set correct, it's a guarantee that you will cross your cutoff in data interpretation, despite the paper being easy. That's that 5 questions, 15 net marks. When I'm using the word 15 net marks, let's say, for example, you attempt 10, you would have got 7 correct and 3 wrong or 6 correct and 4 wrong. You will just about be in that 14, 15 range, and which is very, very good too. And it comes to quant, the number of attempts or the cutoff that is required is about 11, 12, 13 marks. That is about 4, 5 questions. If you're talking about 4, 5 questions to get a cutoff, I think attempting about 10 questions and getting about 6, 7 right is going to kind of, comfortably put you above the cutoff. Overall, I believe that a 90 percentile will be in the 58 to 60. Once again, looking at the slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, once again, this is preliminary analysis. A lot of feedback is to come from the students as well as, I think, once you give us the data on the percentile, we will be in a better position to kind of predict it. But I believe that CAT 2024 has been better than CAT 23. Those of you, those students who have written CAT 23 also and are repeaters would have taken a sigh of relief, saying that yaar, itna to difficult nahi tha. It was not so difficult kind of things. That's my overall analysis. Komal.
So, as we are talking about the percentile, I want to know one thing. Like, what percentile range corresponds to the 99 percentile in CAT 2024?
What once again, what score you means, right?
What score range
This is
corresponds
what
to
I'm saying,
99?
90. So I am saying here, between 87 to 93, among all these things, will give us the 99 percentile. As I can put it on, I hope you are seeing it on screen here. Is my screen visible by any chance?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if you look at it, what I am saying is to get a 99 percentile in almost all, see, the range of scores will be 87 to 93. When I'm saying 87 to 93, that's about 31 questions net correct. 31 questions net correct is, what it means by 31 questions net correct is, let's say you get 35 correct, you can get up to 12. It's about 45, 47 attempts you get about 35 correct, you are going to be very, very comfortable. That is 99 percentile. What is also relevant, Komal, which is important for a lot of people to understand, is about the 90 percentile game. The 90 percentile, I'm saying somewhere around 55 to 60 is what I predict it to be, which will be comfortable to get a 90 plus percentile. 55 to 60 is only 20 questions net correct. 20 net correct questions out of 68 questions would mean if somebody attempts 35 questions and gets about 23 right, they are going to be there. You get that? That is what I would say is the correct analysis of the number of questions.
So, one more question. What changes should aspirants expect in 2025 based on this year's analysis?
No, one of the good things about CAT has always been that the IIMs, this is IIM Calcutta, which has conducted this exam. Last year Kozhikode, the before year it was Ahmedabad or Bangalore or whatever. One good thing is the overall paper structure can change a little, but the areas that come don't change. The overall scores, when you talk about a 90 percentile or a 99 percentile, will change by about 2-3 questions, which means 3 to 6 marks or 9 marks at the max, not really beyond that. And hence, I think if somebody is thinking of a CAT 2025, Komal, it is important to realize that, there can be 66 or 68 questions next year, maybe 68 questions. If you're talking about 68 questions, writing your mocks, and probably Career 360 will come back to them early this time instead of going all the way back in November, and start, practicing them a little more in detail will help them. Like any other exam, or any entrance examination, there's two things which are important. One is, of course, your fundamentals and concepts. I think that without getting your fundamentals and concepts right, you cannot score anything at all. I mean, you can do once in a while fluke, but it cannot be consistent. And the second one is a enormous amount of practice to make sure that you are absolutely up in the game. So understanding that, look, any eventuality happens, you are ready to kind of quickly regroup and respond to that kind of a thing in the exam hall. That is what you need. So two things. One is make sure that this paper, this CAT paper is very much doable, especially if you're thinking of CAT 25, those of you are listening to me here, and put in that effort for both the concept side, the fundamental side, and the writing of the mocks, and doing it in such a way that you are ready for it.
Okay, sir. So, as all the three slots are over and you have analyzed all the three slots, I want to know one more thing. Were the question framed to test conceptual clarity or speed?
Very good question. In any, you will always be understanding, especially for CAT, and it's been true for a very, very long time, that the speed comes in second, but the conceptual clarity. There are two things which are important in CAT, Komal. One is, of course, you need to know the fundamentals I told you. More importantly is resource management. What do you mean by resource management? So every person comes with certain abilities, certain strengths, certain ways in which one responds to problems, correct? Now, and to add to that, there is only 2 hours to go and 40 minutes for each section. So what CAT tests is that, hey, you have certain strengths, certain abilities, certain, say, and there is a resource given to you called 40 minutes per section or 2 hours for the entire paper. How do you match your resources, your abilities to maximize your returns? This is important, which is where I'm saying you don't have to do everything. 68 questions come in. Can you pick the correct 45 to 50 get about 33 to 35 of them correct, you are there. You are there at the 99 plus percentile. It is okay. When I'm saying it, it looks easy, but that's exactly what CAT tests. That is what a manager also does when he becomes a leader in corporate. It's not that you have unlimited resources. It's not that you have unlimited ability or expertise. You have your expertise, you have your ability, you have your strength. You also know certain resources. How do you match these people to be able to get the best out of it and get profits out of it, and for the stakeholders as well as for your employees? That's what CAT is all about, and that continues to be something, a hallmark of this exam called CAT. It has been there for the last 30 plus years.
That's all from my answer.
Thank you so much. And I hope, once again, all of you who are here today, I hope Careers 360 has started this trend of giving you enough and more ammunition to be ready to prepare for your own CAT exam. And those of you who have already written CAT 2024, please make sure that you come to on the website careers360.com. Make sure that you give us your expected score so that your percentile predictor becomes more stronger. From there, you can get your college predictor. That's point number one. Then I also believe, Komal, if I am not wrong, there is some download that you can do for the GD and interview preparation. And please understand that this is only 50% of the work done. When you go into an interview, and a lot of interviews will give you 50% of the marks or 40 to 50% of the marks for your final selection. So that becomes equally important, not just the written test. And hence, preparing correctly for your personal interview and group discussions, depending on institute to institute, becomes extremely important, very, very critical to your final destination of getting into an IIM. Please don't miss out on that. And Careers 360 will come with enough resources, quite a lot of them free, to make sure that you are ready for that. Thank you so much. And all the best. I hope you have enjoyed the analysis, and please give us feedback, which will kind of make us better every time coming back to you.
That's a wrap on our analysis of CAT 2024. A huge thank you to you, sir, for your insights throughout the day, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Komal. Thank you.
Best of luck with your results, guys, and no matter how things go, keep moving forward on your MBA journey.